Today we are unboxing a very special bike, the Power Goat version 2. I've been waiting for this thing for months. I know a lot of you have as well. We have the version 1 over here to my right. It is an exceptional bike, but they have since upgraded a lot of the components on here, including suspension, a little bit faster performance. The rear turn signal blinks now. I'm going to show you everything that they've done differently from the version 1 to the version 2 in this video, as well as we're going to ride the Power Goat version 2 and do a full review on it. Alright, today we are doing a side-by-side comparison of the Power Goat version 1 versus the Power Goat version 2. So in the comparison, we're going to take the exact same route with both bikes so that we can compare exactly what they're going to do. Now I'm going to be using throttle only with pedal assist 5, so that's max speed, and that's going to happen the entire time. Now my version 1 does not have pedals. It is just pegs, so there is no pedal power, but even if you had pedals, doesn't really matter. You're not going to be pedaling this bike at all anyways. And it is a nice warm day today, so the battery should be good and ready to go. I pulled it off the charger last night, both bikes. With GPS, we got a top speed of 39 miles per hour right there. That is a flat part of the road. Now this is also a flat part of the road. Made it to 37 there. 42. So we got a top speed of 42 so far on this road. Now this is just a normal road that's got hills, but is also flat in a lot of areas. So it's a good road to do a test on because it's like a normal road that most people would encounter when riding this bike. There is a truck behind me. And we're going up a slight hill. Now this bike doesn't have rear suspension, and you can really tell it. It does bounce quite a bit when you're going down some of these roads that are a little bumpy. Alright, so we're going to start here. This is just a little side part of the road, like you can pull off if you need to do anything, I guess. But we're gonna start here with both bikes and do a 0 to whatever we can get to top speed wise down this road. It's fairly flat right here. There's a slight incline, but it gets straight again right after this hill up here. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but we're gonna go ahead and do a 0 to whatever the top speed we get is, starting now. There's 20, 30. There's the little hill right here. Now we should be able to get up over 42 miles per hour going this way. There are a couple hills. It's not a flat road. The flattest road close to me is several miles away. So unfortunately, this is what you get. Now I'm really excited to see what the version 2 can do, because I have not ridden that one yet. Should be a pretty big jump in performance, I think, just from what I've heard. But I've ridden this bike so much that, well, I've only got 109 miles on it, but I've ridden it enough to know that it's a quality bike. I did have some brake issues. I may be having the same brake issues with the version 2. I did take it for a small test ride yesterday just to make sure everything was good before today. And it's got a little bit of squeaking problem. I did realign the brakes, so hopefully that'll fix it. But we'll see. So far, our top speed on this road is 43 miles per hour. Now this bike also does not have Samsung cells in the battery, and it's not UL certified. The new one has Samsung cells and is UL certified, so we should definitely see better performance, and that's a better thing for you guys who purchase this bike. You don't have to worry about any fires happening when you charge. That means that they're certified to work with the charger that comes with the bike. So as long as you don't change that out, you should be good. And later on in this video, we'll do a side-by-side comparison of all the differences between the two. But next, we're gonna go grab the PowerGo version 2, and we're gonna do the same road, exact same path, and see how much better it is in comparison. All right. We are going to let this sit for a second, and we'll come back over here and check the battery percentage. I am so excited to hop on the PowerGo V2. Look how sexy that thing is. I love the changes they made to the logo colors and the goat logo on the battery. If you look here, I never was really a big fan of that. And I think this is just a really nice subtle change that they made that makes it so much better as far as aesthetics go. They even changed the logo on the back of the seat. So if you look over here, I actually kind of like this. The goat logo is different than the V2. The V2 is just gray to match the rest of the bike. I think it's really cool. I think they nailed the design out of the park. I know a lot of people are fans of the Motor Goat. I think once you mount the second battery right here, it's gonna just fill that space in. And I should be having a second battery shipped to me. I actually was supposed to get it Tuesday, but I think this is just such a beautiful design. Very subtle. I like the matte gray with the matte black paint. Looks really cool. I like the suspension. I'm really happy they added some suspension. It does have some adjustment there, so you'll be able to tweak that if you want to increase the spring performance. But you may even want to swap these out one day, because these are rated for 450 pounds so that you can have a passenger. One of the big differences that I noticed right off the bat, aside from the paint colors and the suspension, was the seat's a little different. It's a little bit different material. The top of the seat here is more like a suede, it feels like. Just totally different feel than that one. I have not taken a long ride on it yet, so I'll be able to tell you what I think about each seat. I really like the version 1 seat, so hopefully it's pretty similar in terms of cushion. And the mag wheels makes this thing just stand out. If you're riding somewhere where it is a low speed limit and you need to pedal, let's say a bike path, you can knock this down into pedal assist 1 or 2 and pedal, and you can actually pedal the bike just fine. And really, you could get some exercise like that if you needed to. I like the forks. They did change the forks a little bit, but I don't know how good they are yet. We haven't ridden. And of course, this headlight is really, really awesome, especially when it's on. So this bike has an incredible amount of voltage sag. That's one thing you'll notice. When we pulled into the garage, it said we had like 50%, and we've been sitting here for a couple minutes and we're back up to 75%. So let's see what the version 2 with the Samsung cells does with the battery. All right, we still have the screen protector on here. Let's go ahead and pull that off. This is legitimately my first ride, aside from when I took it down the street to test the brakes. All right, so this actually has the percentage gauge and the voltage gauge right on the screen here, so that's pretty cool. I've never seen that. Cargo V2, maiden voyage. We're gonna take this same path that we did with the version 1 and see just how much more power it's got. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go down the same road, do the exact same tests. It definitely already feels faster. Yeah, it definitely feels quicker. Now it's holding about the same speed, I believe. We'll have to go back and check. All right, this one we're gonna do 0 to whatever. Same way we did. 3, 2, 1, go. Yep. A little bit faster, I think. Good thing I hit my brakes. Yeah, you could definitely feel the suspension working. For those of you that are new here, my height and weight is 6'2", 240 pounds. If you've never ridden an e-bike like this, man, it's a whole nother world. We just dropped 1%. We're at 99%. I think by the time we got to this stop sign, we were at... Alright, so you've seen all the testing that I've done, but now it's time to really see what the differences are on the Goat Power V1 versus V2. The V1's over here and the V2's over there with the gray logo. So the biggest differences, most of them are in the back, but kind of the whole bike is a little bit different. It's going to kind of be hard to see this on video, but I'll try to relay everything to you. The back seat, you can kind of tell that it's up higher. I don't know if you can tell that or not from video, but the PowerGoat V2, the back seat is raised ever so slightly, and that's because of the suspension. So you kind of have a different ride between these two bikes. The biggest change on the back of the bike, of course, are the logos on the seat and the tail light, as well as the lock. And those three things we'll go through right now. The tail light is completely different. You can see it's got a different shape and the blinkers are different. So let me turn both bikes on. So here's what the tail lights look like. They're both very bright. This one almost looks white on video, but it is a really nice red color. The tail light on the version 1 is brighter than the tail light on the version 2. I actually prefer this tail light to that one in a lot of ways. I do like the sequential turn signals on this one. This would have blinking turn signals if they actually worked, but they don't. At least you get working turn signals on the PowerGoat version 2. I would have liked to really seen the PowerGoat version 1's tail light on the version 2, but just blinking. Let me show you what they look like when the turn signals are on. So the rear turn signals, as you can see, it's got an amber light on the top. It still looks red when they're not working, but when they light up, it's amber. Kind of hard to see that on video, but let's get a little closer. Yeah, you can see that. So that looks pretty good. Over here, as you can tell on the version 1, they don't blink, but those lights are way brighter than the one on this tail light. So it would be nice to see that one working. I know these tail lights can blink. I have another bike with this exact tail light on it, and it has a working turn signal. So not sure why they made the change. Maybe a supply chain issue, but yeah, this one is just a little bit more brighter than the new one. But I still like the new one. The other difference here is this one doesn't have a license plate bracket. The version 2 now has a license plate bracket, so the motors are the same. The gearing and everything would be the same, except for my PowerGoat version 1 doesn't have pedals, so can't really compare those. And one other change that they made to the back here is the lock. So on this lock, it rattles, and like when you ride the bike on the version 1, you hear that sound all the time, especially during off-road. This one, it's a little bit more quiet. I don't hear it at all. And they added this little rubber piece. I think they're just rubber gaskets, but they seem to do the trick. Very little play in this, and you might still get a little bit of noise, but not near what you get on the PowerGoat version 1. That's a welcome change. So the biggest difference between the version 1 and the version 2 is the version 2 now has rear suspension. We'll go more in detail on the rear suspension in the PowerGoat version 2 review, which is coming up in tomorrow's video. And that's the last major thing different in the back of the bike is the suspension. So let's flip the bike around and move to the front side, and I'll go through everything there. All right, I got the front of the bikes facing me now. Version 2 is still over here. Version 1 is still over here. The difference in the front, first thing I saw, of course, the front tire is different. On the version 1, they had a 4.5-inch front tire, which I actually really liked. I had never had any issues with the tire rubbing or anything, but I know a lot of people have. So they decided to make a change throughout the lineup and put 4-inch tires, which it doesn't really matter to me. You can definitely see how much more space there is in between the forks with the new tire. So yeah, maybe some people were getting rubbing. I wasn't. I might actually change mine and put the 4.5 on the front if it'll work. We'll see. The other thing here is the forks are a little different. So the version 2, they have a compression but no preload. This doesn't move at all. All you got here is a compression setting. On the version 1, this one has compression and a preload. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, but I do wanted to make note of that so you guys knew. The logo up here on the front is different. So you got just the goat on the version 2, and then the version 1 had a white Goat Bikes logo, which I think this is actually better. I think it looks better. Now, my version 1 doesn't have pedals, so it's going to have a gear set on my version 2. Not that that would be any different on the version 1 if I did have the pedal version, but yeah. So the logo on the forks is also different. On the version 2 it's gray. All the logos on the version 2 are all gray. Most of the logos on the version 1 are white except for the seat. I like the matte gray with the black paint. I think it looks awesome. We already talked about that. The battery is also different. It has Samsung cells that is UL certified and better performance. You guys saw that in this video. The battery performance out of the version 2 versus the version 1 is just way better. You're not going to get a whole lot faster speed, but you're just going to get an overall better ride and more range because of how good the battery is. Now I'm going to be installing a second battery. That will be the video 3 in this series. So I'm going to split this whole video up into 3 parts. We're going to have this video that you're watching today, which is PowerGoat version 1 versus PowerGoat version 2. And the second video is going to be a full-blown review of the PowerGoat version 2. So we'll go through everything, including the suspension and a few other things. We'll also be doing a range test to see how good it is on range so that I can install my second battery, because I'm really itching to get my second battery on here to see if it makes any performance differences or how much range I can actually get with 2 batteries. I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. So I mentioned this already, but the seat is a little bit different. This is really hard to bring out on video, but this is more like a suede. It's just got a different texture on it. It's not the real slick material like they have on the version 1, so I'll come over here and show you this. This one, a little bit different, just a different material. This is like the same material as the outer edge of the seat, whereas the outer edge of the seat is similar to that, but the top of the seat is more like a suede. I told the owner of Goat Power Bikes about that, and he didn't even know that the seat was changed. So there you go. I might have known that before him. The other thing that changed is the boot up screen. So on the version 1, we'll do that one first. On the version 1, you get the old Goat Power logo on the screen, where the version 2, you get the new Goat Power Bikes logo as a splash screen. Now nothing else has really changed on the screen other than the version 2 has a voltage gauge. So you have a voltage gauge and a battery gauge at all times on your bike. So I like to see that. I prefer to have voltage on there, but it's nice to have both at the same time. Other than that, the screen's pretty similar. I believe there are a few setting upgrades in the new one, so we'll go through the settings in the review. All the rest of the stuff's pretty much the same. Right now you can get this bike for $23.99, and they are going to be raising the price very soon, so hopefully you guys can jump on it before they raise the price. But yeah, this is a phenomenal bike for even $3,000, to be honest with you. I think everything about it is incredible. I can't wait to show you how well this bike performs in a real world scenario. So stay tuned for the next video, which will be posted tomorrow, and that's going to be the Goat Power Bikes Power Goat version 2 full review. We're going to go through everything on this bike. Now this comparison video has been something I've been putting together for the last 3 weeks. So I've been putting a lot of time and effort into making this comparison so you guys know the differences. I've been shooting and filming different scenes throughout the last 3 weeks. So I've put quite a bit of miles on the version 2 already. I don't even know exactly how much. 31 miles. So I've probably ridden it 4 times now. Now I do short bursts a lot of the time. But my next video, I will be doing a really long ride on the Power Goat version 2. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'd love to show you what this thing can do. We'll go through a full performance test on this, and that will be coming up soon. And then we'll be installing the second battery. I'll show you guys how to do that, just so you have some instructions in video form. And if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like this video if you want to see the next one. And if you guys see this in the future, if you're not seeing it right away, I'll list all 3 videos in each 3 videos description, so make sure you check that out. And if you are interested in purchasing a Power Goat or any Goat Power Bikes, there will be a link and a coupon code at the top of the description. Click that link and save some money off this bike if you decide to pick one up. Any purchase you make does directly help this channel and helps me grow and make these videos. So thanks for everybody that's ever done that. I really do appreciate all of you, and I couldn't do this stuff without you guys. So thanks a lot. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.